All right, all right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 155. Hear that new intro music?
Yeah,
you
sounds good, man.
Good stuff, good stuff. We're here with a great guest, Harry Bellucci. How you doing, Harry?
Doing fantastic.
I heard it's your first pod.
It is absolutely my first pod at age 68. There you go.
We're with the man, the myth, the legend, Hall of Famer, teacher, coach, executive director. We have so much to talk about. I'm very excited that you're here. Episode 155. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I guess my background a little bit,
Yeah.
Having taught and coached in Hartford for 42 years. My last 29 at Hartford Public High School, where I coached football and swimming. Before that, I was at Buckley, my alma mater, for 23 years coaching. In 23, I got 24. I got put in the Hartford High, Buckley Hall of Fame, and 24 into the Hartford High Hall of Fame. The only person in Hartford in 2 Hall of Fames.
So you're in 2 high school Hall of Fames.
Correct.
For your teaching and your coaching, or one for?
At Buckley for being an athlete and coaching, and at Hartford Public, obviously, for coaching. So
Jeez.
Pretty cool. And then they named the field after me on upon retirement there. So that's pretty surreal. Walking in there and going, oh, jeez.
Listen, never had. We're here with a legend.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. Field named after you. How was that feeling? I couldn't imagine that's as being a coach, a football coach. You put players into college. You put players into the NFL, and they honored you with a field. Let's elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, when Nick LeBron called me, he was on the council, and he said, hey, Coach, we want to name the field after you. And I'm like, you sure about that, buddy? He's going, absolutely. Part of that situation was I was Hartford High field. The Park River runs underneath it, and the Army Corps of Engineers covered that back in the 50s, 60s. But, it's a riverbank. So anytime it rained, we were literally in 5 feet of mud. It was ridiculous, and I would complain every single year about it. Like this, and coaches would complain. And then finally, I was able to talk to Matt Ritter, who was a former student of mine, speaker at the house.
Yep.
And I said, Matt, I have a couple of years left. So coach is going to play on this mud pit the rest of his life. And he's going, well, we have some bond money coming up. I'm going to bring it to the governor, who was Malloy at the time, and see if we can get the field built. And I probably texted him every day during the summer. I said, this dude's going to block me here pretty soon. And he called me in August of 2020, and he said, Coach, you needed $1 million. We got you $1 million. We're building the field.
Wow.
Yeah, so which is why I stayed an extra year. I said, I'll be damned if I'm not going to play it on 1 year. So my last year coaching, we were able to play on
the new turf, right?
The new turf field, yeah.
Wow.
Which was awesome.
That's so cool.
And then we had to go to the board and give them the business, and then they finally put the lights in the track in. So now it's a really beautiful facility, really. It's gorgeous.
Now, is that the one when you're taking the left off Sisson Ave? You could see right over here?
There it is.
That's you? Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I thought of you the other day. I got off that to go to Parkville Market, and I'm like, I wonder if that's Harry's field.
Yeah, that definitely is, yeah.
So is it the Bellucci field or the Harry Bellucci field?
It's a Harry Bellucci field.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
nice.
Awesome. And what was great upon my retirement, a bunch of guys that I am friends with for a very long time donated a bunch of money, and we created a Bellucci Family Scholarship Fund. So every June, I give about 5 or 6 $1,000 scholarships away to kids from Hartford High, kids from Buckley, kids from Weaver, and helping them out with their first year of college. So that's a pretty cool thing that we're able to do. Yeah,
that's being a good friend.
That's
what it's all about.
Yes, being very good friends. Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of that.
So how was it teaching in Hartford, and why Hartford?
I grew up in Hartford. My first 9 years, I grew up in Rice Heights, which is a project over off of Flatbush Avenue, which is no longer there. Then we moved to the south end of Hartford. So here was Bellucci moving to the south end of Hartford. I fit right in over there with all the Italian kids. So it was a great place to grow up, the south end of Hartford back in the 60s and 70s. It was just a million kids everywhere, and parks and a bunch of pools open. And I think about probably the 4th or 5th grade, my gym teacher, who was a crazy Italian guy, but I just loved sports, and I just loved being part of that. And I think in my mind in 4th grade, I made up my mind I was going to be a phys ed teacher and a coach. And after going to Greater Hartford and then Central, I got my first job at 23 at Noah Webster School. And then I actually started coaching when I was a junior at Central. A assistant freshman job was open. I ran into my head coach from back in 75. And I said, yeah, sure. I came down, I signed some papers, and I went out in the field and started coaching. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, just what I remember from high school. So that's the defense we put in.
Yep.
I spent the whole season screaming like a maniac because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But so I started coaching 3 years before I actually got a teaching job, which is why I have 42 years coaching, 38 teaching.
Gotcha.
There's a disparity. But you know what? I coached during all the gang wars back there in the 80s and 90s, and it was rough, and it was frustrating. Sometimes it was sad, but mostly it was rewarding. And I would say if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it exactly the same way, and I wouldn't change anything. As far as being coming from a single parent family, I said, you know what? I think I have something to offer these kids because I understand what they're going through, and helping kids was the real juice for me. Right, getting a kid that was living in the poorest neighborhood, getting him a scholarship, getting him off to college, and seeing him get that college degree. I knew that was changing his whole life, and anybody that that came after him was going to have a different life. He took his family tree and moved it somewhere else.
Yeah,
which is the juice.
That's the goal, right?
That's the goal. Yeah, that's the thing.
Man. So can you think, you have so many years of 39 years teaching, 42 years coaching. Do you have like a proud moment or a reflection or a memory that you'd like to share? One that stands out?
I think going down to Temple University and seeing a pair of twins that I had, Eli and Elijah and Elisha Joseph, walk across the stage. And I told them, look, if you make the NFL, I don't know, if you're around somewhere, I'll come watch you play, but I'll definitely come to your graduation. So I drove down, got a hotel room, watching those kids walk across the stage. And I've been lucky to do it a bunch of times, 15, 20 times, different kids, whether it was Division III or Division I, watching them graduate. And now one's the top real estate broker in Hartford. I have another one, Andre Lawrence, who went to Boston College, has a big analytical job in Boston. And that was a young man who literally from the time he got to Hartford High until he graduated, moved 7 times because he lived with his sister. And they'd get a place, and then they wouldn't pay the rent, and they'd get evicted. Because every time I'd give him a ride home, it'd be a different place. I said, Dre, what's going on? And he explained it to me. And he turned down a job at one of the casinos for $130,000. And I said, Dre, because they called me and I gave him a reference. And he goes, I didn't see any movement upward in that place. I said, you just turned down So, from a kid that couldn't even stay in the house for 6 months to where he is now. And you know what he did? He bought a sister house.
Man.
In East Hartford.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Because he said she's not going to have to worry about that anymore. That gets me choked up.
To give back, yeah.
Right.
It's the boomerang of giving. You gave to him, he's given to his sister, and it's going around. So, man, congratulations.
Yeah,
I can see you feeling it.
Yeah, I sent him a text message because we're doing, at PAL, we're doing our annual fundraiser, which is called PAL Bember. Sent him a text message, hey, donate. Within 2 seconds, there was a Venmo to PAL for $100, like no time. Yeah, because he knows.
Yeah.
And I always tell him, you got to give back. You got to give back because people helped you. You need to help somebody.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a connection, but Elijah and Elisha, are they twins?
Oh, yeah.
Because I taught an Elisha who had a twin, Elijah, in Waterbury, Connecticut. Did they move to Hartford?
Nope.
They were Hartford the whole time?
Hartford the whole time.
So weird that twins, Elijah and Elisha.
Yeah, which is a funny story.
I was going to look up the last name, but yours are Joseph. I don't think mine were Joseph, but...
And even I used to have to call I had to call the NCAA because they had them confused. They says, "Well, here's the GP." I said, "No, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Look at this one." Yeah, their records were so confusing because it's only JAH and SHA. So crazy.
Very cool. It's a crazy connection. That's wow. Well, let me introduce. My name's Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people that do great things in the community. And my friend, you've only been doing great things in the community for the past 40 plus years. Are you up to 50 plus now?
Well, you want to count the swim team I started at Cole Park when I was 16?
Wow.
Well, then we're at about 52 years, yeah.
Coached swim, golf, football, softball. What didn't you coach?
What didn't I coach? Soccer and basketball. Those are I think the only two I didn't coach. I coached indoor track for a while. Yeah, basketball and soccer. Soccer I didn't understand. Basketball I guess I could have.
Jeez. Coached Allie's basketball team.
I did coach Allie. Oh, that's true. I did coach Allie's rec team in West Hartford. That is correct.
And this is awesome. My first father-daughter podcast duo. I've had father-son, but I've never had. So shout out to Allie. I asked twice. I asked a couple podcasts, hey, do you have any recommendations on who should I have? She's like, you have to have my dad, Harry.
There you go.
That was episode 130. She recommended. And then again, just now, we just did a Hot Wings podcast at 153. Allie said it again. So here we are 2 episodes later. Allie did it. So you're here. I'm so excited to talk with you. You're like, I'm on 22 years of teaching. So I look up to you. Do you have any advice for me, or do you have any advice for new teachers?
Here's what I'll say about teaching. And I think I know there's a large burnout rate for teachers now, and it's probably a lot tougher from when I first started back in 1983. But here's what I'll say. You have to be able to, when you walk out, to compartmentalize your teaching and your life. When you walk out that door at the end of the school day, you have to leave everything there and then leave it at the door, walking out, and pick it up when you come back in. Because if you don't do that, you can never, ever survive.
Yeah.
Because, there's so much going on during the day. And I would tell that to my football players. They would come down and they would be mad they had a fight with their girlfriend, or they flunked the test and they'd be mad. And I said, stop here at the gate. Leave that problem here and come out to football practice and enjoy it. Now, if you want to talk to me after about it, and we'll see what we can do for you, but don't bring your personal problems to the field. And so I felt like going home to the 3 daughters and my wife, that I had to leave whatever frustration or something that wasn't working out at the door, and then I'll pick it up the next day and work with it. And I think that's how I was able to make it through 38 years of teaching.
Yeah, awesome. What about the tag where gym teachers? Are you a gym teacher or a PE teacher?
I'm a physical education teacher.
I know that people. I don't teach gym. I teach physical education.
Well, the old saying about physical education teachers. They said, it's not about throwing them. It's not about throwing the balls out. The great ones, get them back.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Now, I usually wait to the end for this, but did you have a favorite teacher that stood out in your life that helped make you who you are?
Oh, probably a coach, a man named James Brophy, who was my swimming coach in high school. The pool is named after him at Buckley High School.
Okay.
He is in the Connecticut High School Coaches Association Hall of Fame for swimming coach. He was a coach for 40 years. He was a guy that I learned about how to be a good coach, how to be a smart coach, how to be an analytical coach. And, he was hard, but he never screamed, which I think was so important, because if he did yell, it scared the bejesus out of us, because he never did yell. But when he did, holy moly, that really got our attention. But he was just so, and he made you love to be there. Now, I don't know if you've ever swam competitively, but going to swim practice is not fun. It's not like being in basketball practice. Ooh, I made a basket. It's just lap after lap after lap, and you have to do it fast, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And he figured out, and I call it the Brophy approach, how to make that swim team such a close family, and how we just loved being with each other, and how we loved being with him, and he was probably the biggest influence on me in my life. That's
awesome. Great for sharing that. Is he still around?
No, he passed away. He said he wanted to. I saw him at a state. This is a weird story. I saw him at a state meet on a Sunday. I had a Saturday. We had a diver in it, and he had a couple swimmers and a diver, and we were sitting on there talking and laughing. He goes, "I got to decide what I want to do. I wanted to make it to 40 years, and this is my finish. Just finished my 40th season." On Monday, he died of a heart attack. 2 days later.
Like after retiring, or after
2 days after I talked to him.
Gee, oh man.
Yeah, at 62 years old. That was pretty crushing, to be honest with you. But, you know, his memory lives on, and all his former swimmers just absolutely love that guy.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's great. He'll live on through, you know, sharing his story and for the work that you did. So he was a yeller. What kind of coaching style did you have?
In the beginning, I was a yeller because I didn't know any better.
Yep.
But then as I went along in my coaching career, I started to realize, you know, if a kid does something wrong twice on the field, that he's not doing it on purpose. Maybe I didn't teach him correctly. Mm-hmm. Maybe I taught him the wrong way. It was like when I coached diving, and I had like 3 or 4 all-state divers. Some guys I could just tell, you know, you have to do this, and they could do it. Some guys I had to actually manipulate their bodies and, you know, work with them and show them how to do it. Then I realized everybody has a different way to learning, and you have to figure, and I would tell my assistant coaches, you have to figure out how they learn. Some guys you just tell and they do it. Some guys you literally have to walk them through the steps, and that's how they get it. Yep. And I think that approach has helped me along the way, you know, and here's the biggest thing. You know, they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And if you don't care about those kids, you'll get nothing out of them.
And the kids know right away.
You give a lot about them, and that you're looking at their best interest. You know, one day I was in a class, and I had a kid that was really sort of like a pain in the backside, always doing what he was supposed to do. So I'm in my office. I heard him walk by, and I hear him arguing about how Jay-Z is his favorite rapper and how he's the best rapper ever. So I just kind of heard that conversation as he walked by. I think 3 or 4 months later, I'm looking through the internet, and I see that Jay-Z dropped another joint, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes, Harry, yes.
So when I had him in gym class later on in the day, I said, "Oh, your boy Jay-Z dropped a new joint." He looked at me. I go, "Yeah, I know that's your famous rapper." And he was like, "How do you know that?" I said, "Don't worry about how I know that." But right then and there, I made a connection with him that I knew about what he liked. Yep. And after that, he was much better. Yeah. Because if he'd be doing something, I said, hey. And he'd be like, I got you.
Got to build that rapport and that positive relationship.
If you don't,
it all starts there.
Yeah, if you don't do that, you're spinning your wheels.
There's a TED Talk by Rita. I forgot her last name, but kids don't learn from people they don't like.
100%. So, and those kids will make that determination on you within a week of school. And they know. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't fake it because they know. Yep. You know, you have to be authentic with them and respect them.
I agree.
You know, if I had a kid in class that was acting up, I'd call him over and talk to him first. You know, like, look. And then if he did it again, I'm like, okay, I'm respecting you here. So, you know, and that approach usually worked for me anyway. You know, and I like the kids. That's a big part of it. Yeah,
no, it's great, man. And now, anything we missed about coaching? So I know that you, confirm or deny. We're already into this part of the game. Were you a professional dancer?
I was a professional disco dancer.
Are you kidding?
No, it wasn't.
So that's where Allie got all her moves last night?
Yeah. She definitely got that gene from me, and I definitely got it from my dad, because my dad was a really good dancer. Back in the 70s, and I turned 18 in 1975, like the different clubs would have contests. You know, and they pay between $100 or $200 if you won the contest. Oh. So I had a friend of mine, a young lady who was an excellent dancer, and you know had took dance the whole time, and I found out, like, when I started going to clubs, like, oh shoot, I have rhythm here. This is nice, right? And so then I kind of got hooked up with her, and then we'd go down to her house and we practice, and we went to a contest, we won it. I'm like, oh, this is good. We split $50, right? In 1976, that was pretty good money. Then we went to another, we won $100, and then we went to another, and we won $200. I'm like, so we did that about 7 or 8 times, and we won most of the time, which was cool. I mean, we did a lot of work at it, but yes, I was getting paid. I didn't claim it on taxes, so.
That's amazing. Like the stories that you have. So I'm so just honored. You should write a book.
Yeah, I'm kind of working on it.
Okay, I was going to say. You have a wonderful story. Grew up in Hartford, went to Hartford schools, and then went back to teach and coach in Hartford. I did that for a while, too. I taught at Kingsbury. I went to Kingsbury School in Waterbury. I taught at Kingsbury School in Waterbury. So you saw, did you have teachers that had you as a kid and then you turned into colleagues?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. And then he said, they look at you and go, "You're a teacher?" Because that's what they said to me.
Yeah, well, I don't even know of that, but I think they saw my progress as a coach, and then coming up into the building, I'd be at Buckley, and they, the teachers that I had literally 6 years before that, I think they were happy to see one of their kids, moving towards that profession back then.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of support. Felix Karski, who was a state rep, captain of Trinity football team, he was a big proponent of mine. Bob Colangelo, who just passed yesterday, matter of fact, a guy I used to work for on Franklin Avenue package store, was a science teacher at Buckley, bought a package store on Franklin Avenue, and I worked there for 10 years. Great mentor, always helped me out, helped me get my driver's license. There's a lot of people that helped Harry Bellucci along the way, a whole lot of people. I'm not here without those guys.
Yeah, it takes a village.
Yeah,
you believe in that?
Yes, and I picked the right friends. I have incredible friends from 7th and 8th grade. We still, 8, 9 of us still do a bunch of stuff together. Go on vacation, hang out, talk to each other all the time.
Is it like when friends turn to family, sort of?
Yes, those are my brothers. There's no question. I trust those guys with my life. And, I could have gone either way as a kid, but those guys were really come from good families, and they took me right in, and they were going to college. I go, okay, I'm going. They're going, I'm going. That basically was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really thank some friends in my path too. So you need friends that care about you and want you going in the positive direction.
Right.
If they're taking you down to their misery and negativity, they're not your friends.
Right.
So
if you hang around with 5 knuckleheads, you're going to be the 6th knucklehead. If you hang around with 5 good guys, you'll be the 6th good guy. Yeah. That's a fact.
I like it. Anything else you want to share about teaching and coaching? Because then we'll move on to PAL.
Oh, I think we should move on to PAL. I'm ready.
Let me see your resume. I love this resume. Did we say you put out 23 All-State players?
I did.
11 D1 scholarships.
Yes.
57 players played in college football. That's amazing. And then you coached the senior football all-star game in 2012 and 2016. That's
twice.
Cool. Where's that?
I'm the only 2-0 coach. Connecticut, all the players would come for a tryout, and then we would play Rhode Island.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Yeah, we did that for many, many years. I was assistant coach for a bunch of years, and I was the head coach twice. Yeah, so that was, and the really
So you have the all-time winningest record.
That's it. The greatest thing about that was the coaches from Connecticut that I was able to meet. When I first got on, I was just an assistant for a bunch of years, but I met some of the most incredible Jay Martinez from
KO.
Waterbury.
Yeah, way
and KO.
He went to Crosby.
He went to Crosby.
I know him.
Very good friend.
Yeah.
John Razi, great player out of Kennedy High School, not a coach at Sheehan High School.
Okay. Yep.
So
I heard of that name.
Sean Marinan from Xavier.
Yep.
I met so many incredible people doing that all-star game and being on the Connecticut High School Coaches Football Committee.
Okay.
It was incredible. I was the chair of that for a few years.
I gotta mention that. My sister kicked on the All-Star team.
Was the kicker? Her sister was on the kicker on the All-Star game?
But my middle daughter, Erin.
Which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite daughter before Allie leaves?
I'll take the 5th. My middle daughter, Erin, played soccer for 3 years at Hall, and she came to me. She goes, "I don't want to play soccer anymore. It's because I want to be on a football team." I'm like, "You're 5'4", 120 pounds. I don't think that's going to work." She said, "I want to be the kicker." I said, "Okay." And then we get some balls from Hartford. This was in March or April. We'd go down every weekend. We'd go down to Hall. got the kicking tee, set it up, worked on how she should do it, and she had a strong leg, so she was banging those extra points pretty easy. I said, well, you got to go see Coach Robinson now and tell him you want to play football because you got to do lifting. You just can't show up in August. It's not going to work. So she went and talked to him, and he said, yeah, sure, here's when we weight train. And she went in there. You know, she's squatting the bar, and the boys are like, what's up with this? She got the summer ball, about 3 kids trying out for the kicker position. She won it. And her senior year, she had 35 attempts, 31 made.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great percentage.
I was more nervous watching her kick than any football game I've ever been to. And I said, don't you get nervous? She's like, I practice every day, Dad. Why would I be nervous?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. And so then her senior year, I was my second time as head coach of I told the guy running it, I said, I'm putting my daughter on. She's going to kick. He said, that's a great idea. Oh, my God. And then she kicked 2 extra points. She kicked against me her senior year and made 3 extra points. Hall versus Hartford High. And the first time one of the kids hit her. No, the first time she made the extra point, all the Hartford High players were going up and slapping her high five. I'm like, no. And then one guy hit her in the shoulder after she kicked it, and he fell. He comes, Coach, I didn't mean it. I swear to God. Because I told him, if you hit my daughter, I'm going to kill you. So
I love it.
That was a great story. Yeah,
that's very cool.
I got to coach my daughter in football, so that was cool.
And she kicked for Hall.
And she kicked for
So
high
cool.
school. Yes.
So cool. Man, yeah. You coached swimming, softball, tennis, golf. Which one are you better at as a player, you think? What's your sport? Swimming?
I was a captain of the swim team, yeah. I qualified for 4 events.
Now, I currently swim twice a week at the JCC. Now, I can get a lap is down and back, obviously. I'm like at a minute 10. That's pretty slow, right?
For up and back?
Yeah. What was your best time up and back?
For what stroke? I don't know.
What about, say, freestyle?
Freestyle?
Stroke.
About
not a lot.
27 seconds.
27
That's
seconds.
slow, though. There were guys that can go 23, 24. I think the state record is 21. But that's a big 6'4" dude. I saw him do it. Yeah, and I was mostly a breaststroker, IMer, all 4 strokes, backstroker. So I did all the other strokes. But you'd go in the pool every day, and your workout was 250 laps.
Yeah,
you get in pretty good shape doing that.
I see the kids practice. They clear the pool at like 5:30 or 6 for the kids to come in, and like you said, all they do is laps for an hour straight.
Yes.
Of course you're going to get better.
Yes.
Every day for an hour.
Yes.
And you're so hungry after.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But the good thing about swimming like that is you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because you're burning 20,000 calories out of practice. So
yeah,
you just have to eat or you lose weight. I would lose weight because I wasn't eating enough.
Yeah. Now, the freestyle stroke or the crawl. Now, should I reach out and down, or do you reach out and down your chest? Do you go up?
Yeah, you want to reach here, and then you want your hand to come down the middle of your sternum. But you want to, as soon as your arm goes in, you want to push it down and then come forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to keep that elbow high. You don't want to drop your elbow because then you're pushing water with your elbow, and then you're not going anywhere. Here, elbow up.
Elbow up. And then down the chest like that?
Yes, not too close. About that far away, yeah. And then push down the middle and then finish at the end. You got to
flat.
But you have to feel that finish because most people, which is probably what you do, is you get here and then you pull it back out. You got to get that finish in at the end.
Yeah. I used to go down the chest, but someone said, no, it's only off to the side.
No, they're wrong. You bring your hand down the middle of your sternum.
Yeah,
then
that's what I thought.
Then you finish out here. And that's the last part of
that
the
nice
stroke.
try.
There you go. Yeah, that try will be popping.
Yeah. All right. Maybe you got to coach me someday. I'll send you a video.
I'll come down and take that.
Critique me.
And take a look at that stroke.
Get it down. I got to get under a minute. I swim a mile, 36 laps.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
It takes me like 44 minutes.
Yeah.
It used to take me an hour. So I'm getting better. It's great exercise because I hurt my knee. I used to love basketball, but I hurt my knee.
Yeah.
So I'm swimming now. Swimming's full body, and it's easy on the knees.
That's the one thing I miss. I can't play basketball anymore. I used to play, oh, my God, every day. I wasn't that good, but I love playing.
I'm just going to guess and go on a limb. All your connections with teaching and growing up in Hartford have really helped you in your position as executive director for PAL.
Well, yeah, I was on the board of directors of PAL when they first. PAL has been around since 1957 in Hartford, and mainly back then it was a boxing. PAL and boxing are really associated.
Yep.
Then it was boxing and basketball.
Yep.
So, and then it kind of went defunct there in the late 90s, in the early 2000s. They didn't have any money and everything like that. So when Chief Ravello was the new chief, now he's back again. But when he wanted to restart PAL, so he talked to Jade Jorgensen, who is from Hartford, and said, "Hey, can you get a board together? We want you to raise some money, and we want to restart PAL again." So what they wanted to do was follow the Boston model, which is have a separate 501(c), raise the money, and then the police running the programs. So they asked me, they needed an education person. They asked me to be on the board. So we were on the board. I was on the board. And then one day, when I retired from teaching in 2022, Dave approached me. He said, "Harry, we'd like you to apply or be the executive director." And my first thing was, "Well, you're running some sports programs. I probably could help you there." And I said, "But we're raising money. We got to raise a few $100,000 a year to run PAL. I don't know, man. I don't know how to do that." And his philosophy was good because we're a community-based 501(c), so we're available for monies at the state, federal, city level, right? Because we're community-based. He said, "Harry, for 42 years in Hartford," he said, "mostly every politician is either your former student or your classmates." I said, "Well, that's true." And he said, "Well, if you know them and you can get in front of them, then you might be able to get some money from them." And I said, "All right." And I remember my first day on the job, I sat down in front of my computer and typed in how to get a grant. And my first grant I filled out was from Liberty Bank. They gave me $5,000. I thought I had it down.
Done.
Right.
You're in.
Yeah. So, but, Senator John Fonfera from Hartford, Representative Julio Concepcion, Jimmy Sanchez, they've all been ridiculously helpful. Plus, we've had some great partners that help us. The Archdiocese helps us. Last Parking helps us. The insurance companies help us, because you need those partners, right?
Yeah.
To try to raise, $500,000 just from friends, and that's impossible.
Yeah. Corporate sponsorships.
Corporate sponsorship. Yeah. So between the state and all these partners that we have in the city, we're able to maintain free programming at PAL. So nobody gets charged for anything at PAL. And the most important thing is cops, kids, community, right? And, we went all through that crazy thing with defund the police, that ridiculousness. And the Hartford police reputation with its citizens is really good. It's been good. And they have a huge community policing department that goes out to schools and things like that. But having, officers come in and work with kids playing basketball or in our culinary program, those kids don't see the officers as somebody to be afraid of. They see it, oh yeah, he's kind of a regular person and kind of nice too. Right? So when they do see him on the street, they go, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah. So building that bond between, and we have a lot of connection with parents. So parents has to bring their child in to sign them up. You can't do it online, and then you have to meet with the officer. As Vin Marfala is the officer that runs all the programming, and you have to meet with him. So we already we have a good relationship with the parent and the kid in case you have issues, and you're always going to have some issues. So we build that bond of trust. And where PAL is located, which is the Old Quirk Middle School, is what they call the first opportunity zone in the state, that 13-block area that is Clay Hill Arsenal, considered the poorest in the city, one of the poorest in the states. So now we're in this zone where kids, a lot of them can't even go outside. Their backyards are parking lot. The cars are flying up and down Homestead Avenue. You can't go out there. So PAL is a place where they can come and have a gym and we have all the sports, the boxing, martial arts, basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball. But when I started there in 2022, I said, you know what? Some kids don't really play sports, especially post-COVID, right? Am I going on too much?
No, this is great because I know where you're going. You're going to talk about the arts and the cooking?
Here we go.
Well, let's go. This is great.
So we started an art class because we knew kids would love that. We started 2 years ago. We had an intern from Wesleyan come in, and she did like a gardening program and a culinary program. And the kids just loved that culinary program. Then we were lucky enough to get a pastry chef that needed a job, and she really wanted to work at PAL. And she's unbelievable. She's so good. So we started a whole culinary program that has over 45 kids. We have 7 to 9-year-olds. We have older kids. And then we have an advanced group kids that are really into cooking, right? So that's a place for kids that maybe don't like a lot of sports. And this summer, we finished the auditorium because it had a big auditorium, which was a train wreck. We raised enough money in order to put new seats in the auditorium, a new lighting system, a new sound system, a big screen that we can bring down and show movies. And I said, one of my fervent goals is when I took this job in 2022 was to get a theater program, because I think theater for these kids would be great. So this year we were able to hire Hartford Stage to come run our theater program.
Wow.
Yeah, so now
that's a good collaboration.
We have Hip Hop Shakespeare. That's getting practice, and now and probably end of February we're going to actually have the kids do performing. We just received a grant from Senator Fonfera to start a musical instrument program. So we're just getting the equipment in now. So we're going to be teaching guitar, bass, and drums. Gee. So we're super excited about that. And then a dance. So now we have all the arts. We have art class, theater class, music class, dance class, which is a huge thing for us. And we have a robotics program.
You got to have something for the movers, the sports, and the thinkers with the arts and the cooking and the theater.
100%. And you know, we wanted to get kids from more places around the city, but transportation is always a big issue. A, it's crazy expensive. B, if you have to drop a kid off at the school and the parent's not there, now you have somebody sitting there waiting for the parent. And you can't drop individual houses. So we talked to the Hartford Board of Education and said, you know what? We can't get them here, but can we go there? So they said, yeah, we have after-school programs. So now we're in 2 schools in the south end of Hartford, Naylor School and MD Fox, which is the old Buckley High School on Maple Avenue. So now we have what we call satellite PAL programs there. So that being said, we're about 200 kids a day now that PAL is servicing and after-school programs.
Nice.
Congrats. Which is from probably about 40 or 50 when I started.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to offer more programs. But in saying that, we're able to offer all these great programs. Now we have to be able to sustain it. That's where you podcast listeners come in.
Yep.
Right. So this is our obviously November is a giving month, and we run something we call Palvember, which I came up with, by the way.
Nice.
I like it. You know, it's if you go to our website, you know, hartfordpal.org and donate, and there's 3 or 4, you can Venmo, you can click it on and through your credit card, or there's our address there if you want to send a check. And all those dollars are important, especially dollars from the community, because then we can take those dollars and put them in general operating funds, so we can use it for where we need it. Some funds that come in, you have to use for specific things, but a person could do that. So if you have somebody that wants to sponsor the theater program, say they want to pay for a year of the Hartford Stage, which is about $9,000, but $9,000 gets you the people teaching it, plus they bring in all the background props and everything, which is crazy expensive if you had to build it, right? Yeah. So if you wanted to sponsor that, you could say, okay, I'm going to give you this money, but I want it to go towards the theater program. So we line item that in the budget, because we have a person that gives money to the boxing program, and that is a line item. All of her money that she donates just goes to the boxing program. We have another person that donates to the art program, and all their money just goes to art supplies and the teachers and all of that stuff. So, and you keep wanting expanding, but you want to expand smart, because you want to be able to sustain all these programs. You don't want to say, hey, sorry, we can't do theater this year because now we don't have enough money. And as you know, what's going on, the trickle is down to a trickle at the federal level, which eventually will affect the state level. So now you have the Boys and Girls Club, the Y, PAL, and all fighting sort of for the same dollars, right? And so we try to collaborate on some things that we can, but it's important that we able to sustain, especially the work that we do is so important. We have a great mentoring program, and just having the officers and the kids, know each other. It's what PAL is really all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club in Waterbury for 10 years. I was the physical director. Now I work for 2 for 1. I was in PAL this summer. Beautiful building.
Yep.
I'll show the selfie from me and Harry right here. Boom. Harry and Feeney at PAL.
Yeah.
I was at 2 for 1. We used the gym, and where was the auditorium? Is that the new area where we ate lunch, or is that not the auditorium?
There's the gym that you were in, and then there's a gym on the opposite side. Did you know that? There's 2 gyms.
One has AC and one doesn't?
Yes.
Yeah.
The auditorium's in
the middle.
Big thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big thing in the middle. And it's cool.
The doors were closed, but I should have peeked in.
We keep it locked up. We keep it locked up. But we bought a massive screen and I can't even remember what.
Is it like a stage and seating?
Oh yeah, it was a junior high school auditorium.
Oh, okay.
So the bones were all there. The seats were really small and ripped up, and the lighting system was shot because that building was built in 1969. So we replaced the seats, the lights.
Nice.
And the sound system, and now we have this incredible auditorium. And what's cool about it, we were able to rent it out to a dance studio that's going to do their recital there. So, which is great now. So we're going to make a little money.
Yep.
And offer it a little
show
cheaper
it off and
show it off. Yeah,
and
then it's a little cheaper than if you went some other different places. So that's a huge thing that we're able to make. We're able to get some funds in order to keep sustainable PAL without getting donations, right? And we'll have community meetings there. They'll do when the cadets graduate, they'll do it in the auditorium.
Nice.
And, we have movie night in there for the kids and all kinds of stuff.
Do you do there is PAL cadets for that too?
Oh yeah,
middle school. That was awesome. I know Waterbury. Neil O'Leary, the mayor, started PAL. I think while I was still there, but. They had the cadets, and they helped like parking or something.
Yeah,
right?
at PAL we have explorers.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, we have a big explorer program, and then the next step up is the cadet program.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's all under the PAL. The explorers are under the PAL umbrella. The cadets are police department stuff. Here.
No, it was beautiful. Like the gym floor, nice.
Yeah,
it's not like a slippery old floor. It's nice and freshly waxed. Has nice bounce.
Yeah, we had to sand that all down to the ground. They just the last few years of school, they just kept putting this stuff over it. You could literally peel it up in sheets. That's how much was on there. So we had to sand the floor down, and that's the original floor from 1969.
Whoa.
Right? You could never afford to put that wood floor in there now. It's crazy money. So we had to sand it down to the ground, and then we picked the paint job that we wanted, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and then one basketball court has chin-up bars because I did a dead hang contest.
Yes.
And one of the little kids hung for like 4 minutes. I was so impressed.
Yeah.
I started at 20 seconds.
That's the recruit gym. That gym is the recruit gym.
There's like
the
police.
Pictures of that's a recruit gym. But which is good if they're not there. We PAL obviously uses it, but during the day it's mostly for the recruits to do exercises and
nice parking, beautiful parking. You walk right up to the facility. Then if you kept going, nice AstroTurf field, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was a Cal Ripken built that.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And there's a monument, a little plaque.
Yes.
A bronze plaque, but it's not Cal Ripken, the Iron Man. It's his dad. Is it his dad?
Right, it's his dad.
Yeah, Cal Ripken Sr.
Right.
Yeah.
And Cal Ripken is an incredible organization. They give us some monies for reimbursement for equipment every year. They come up and run a few play days for the kids with their whole Ripken staff coming up. That's an incredible organization.
Nice. So they partner and give funds. And, and put on like practices and.
They're an incredible. They've been with us now with Hartford PAL for at least 6 or 7 years, which is great. Partners like that is what you need.
Yeah, beautiful. I think it's soccer field, baseball field, football field. It's a nice turf. Nice turf.
Yeah, I mean that's owned by the city of Hartford. That's not owned by PAL.
Oh, gotcha.
So
but we used it during the summer.
yeah, because there's nobody on it. But like
but
during
can you
the
use
fall,
it? Yeah.
oh yeah, we use it. But like during the fall, the football team from Capital Prep may practice on it, or the soccer team.
Gotcha.
But they'll practice at one end, and we'll take the other end. There's always a little space for us. But during the summer, there's nobody on it, so we get free reign, which is great.
Yeah. Up from there is the playscape, and then you have 2 outdoor basketball courts.
Yep.
So yeah, good stuff going on there.
It's a great facility, you know what I mean? And I feel lucky that we're able to finish the 2 gyms, finish the auditorium, and now we have way more space for way more kids. You know, once you get that auditorium done, now you're running programming there 4 days a week, 5 days a week, which is awesome.
That's awesome. Hey Matt, record this one. We're gonna talk about Palvember real quick. This is my guy Matt. You met Matt?
Oh yeah,
Harry.
Met Matt yesterday.
Yeah. So so it's November, but you call it Palvember. Could you
Correct.
tell us about Palvember again?
Palvember
And how can people help?
Okay, Palvember is our month of giving at PAL.
Yep.
It's our big fundraising month. We do run a golf tournament in June, which if you go to PAL in April, you'll see it's at Keeney Park. A great time there. We'll take as many golfers as we can humanly get. But Palvember is our raising fund month for individuals and business, not so much businesses, but you know, from people in West Hartford and Avon and Hartford, and
Yep.
I sent out 112 personal text messages
Yep.
to my friends and associates and partners and said, hey, this is what we're doing, and you know we're doing pretty well. But we always need a big push. Now, how you can get to that is if you just go to hartfordpal.org. It'll bring you to our website. And then on there's a donate button, and it gives you 3 different options to donate. You can donate through Venmo. You can donate through, you just tap the icon and it brings you to where you can put your credit card in. And there's also our address there where you can send a check if that's the way you want to do it. And that will come. The check will have a P.O. box. So don't say, oh, what it's a P.O. box, because the way the building that we're in was one building, used to be Quirk Middle School. So the front of the school is the school that's there now, Global.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are is the old back of the school. So 50 William Street is, there's nothing there.
Gotcha.
So we don't even really have a mailbox at PAL because of where we are. So we get all our mail.
You will get the check if it's sent to the P.O. box.
We will get the check if you send it to the P.O. box, or even if you send it to the police department on High Street. Officer, my fella, has a box there.
And you created the term Palvember.
Yeah, I don't know how I came up with that.
Yeah, well done. And I like personal connections. That text, like if you want something done, don't send a group email. Don't put a Facebook post out. You need to go one-on-one. So you're all around. That's about the executive director, making the relationships,
right?
Keeping positive rapport. So that's good.
And I think that's the way to do it, right? Because if I send out an email with 50 names on it and you're going, okay, whatever. But if I say, Feeney, help me out here. Yeah. You're going to say, okay, I got to send this guy some money.
Exactly.
Right. And the whole board of directors is involved, and they do the text messaging too. So, we're always hopeful that we're going to be able to raise, and thanks for having me, because I think this is important so that a lot more people can hear the message here, and the super important work we do at PAL, because we live, I am telling you, our place is located in a place where kids sometimes can't go outside. So if they don't come to PAL, they leave school and they go home and they're in the house.
Yeah.
Year round. They can't really go outside unless their parent brings them somewhere.
Yep.
So PAL is a place they can be themselves. They can relax. They don't have to worry. They don't have to watch their backs. They can come and play and choose from an array. PAL's programming, you come in and you actually have a schedule. Like you're going to homework club, and then you're going to martial arts, and then you're going to cooking. So every kid has an individual schedule. There's no kids just running around helter-skelter. Yeah. So just that structure for these kids, and them to be able to come in here and be themselves and not have to worry about, I got to watch my back, is crucial. And, they are around so many positive role models in that building. And if you can get a kid around enough positive role models, it makes a huge difference. But we can only do that if people are generous and businesses are generous. And we've been lucky so far, but in order to maintain this great programming over the sustainability for years, we need everybody's help.
Yeah. So you heard it here. Be a good friend. Donate to PAL. It's PALvember. And if you miss PALvember, there's a golf tournament in June. I'm going to play in that. That sounds like fun. Are there any executive, excuse me, you're the executive director. Anyone on the board? You want to shout out your board?
Yes, we have some great board members who work so hard and have worked so hard. Dave Jorgensen, who is our chair. Michael Clifford, West Hartford resident,
Nice.
owns BRD Builders. Cynthia Isales, who worked for the state of Connecticut, an attorney. Matt Galinsky, who is our treasurer and who works countlessly hard. Vin Marfala, who runs all of our programming and takes care of the building at PAL. Sergeant Nikki Mordashevitz, who runs our Explorer program, does a great job. And runs all of our Special Olympics, and she's super involved with Special Olympics at the state level. She does a plunge, which is crazy in December. Yeah, she does. And we have a great Unified Arts Special Olympics program at PAL that we run a couple of days a week too.
That's
so
awesome.
Those people all do yeoman's work and to make PAL a great experience for the kids that really deserve it.
So many great things going on there and so many great people at PAL. So it was really exciting. Where do you think you're going to be in 5 years with the PAL program?
Oh, well, in 5 years, I'll be almost 75. I don't know. We just take it year by year now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel good. I like the work that we're doing there. And even when I leave the position as executive director, I'll probably be down there coaching flag football. You know what I mean? I think for me to be around young people is something that I've done for my entire life. I can't see that stopping. You know what I mean? So I'll be over there and running flag football.
Once a coach, always a coach.
Once a coach, always a coach. That's
still teaching. No. So did I miss anything? Anything you want to share?
No, you did a great job, man, and I'm so grateful that you had me on here, man. And I just want people to know how important PAL is to the Hartford community, especially to the Clay Arsenal area where we are. It's a crucial area in the city, and your donations, your help makes a huge difference, and just doing this makes a huge difference. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Now I'm going to ask a favor for a future podcast guest. Who do you think I'm going to ask? I think you got into coaching, or you coached him. He went on to coach. I think he played at Wesleyan, coached at Wesleyan.
Oh,
then he went and coached for the Jets.
I think he could be talking about my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is Eric Mangini. He's working at Fox Sports 1 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does First Things First. He does that show every other week, and then he does it a little once in a while with Colin Coward. But he loves it. He's got one son and going to be a senior in high school playing football. He's got one at Williams playing football.
Is he still in Connecticut?
No. He's still in Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Man, all right. So does he come around? Can he be a guest?
Well, I'll talk to him about it. Yeah, man. I can't speak for Eric.
And that's how you met your wife, right? Did you coach him?
Well, that's a funny story. So I coached Eric in high school, and I had an apartment back there, a single guy, and I used to give him a ride home all the time. You know, he lived right near me. And he used to say, "Coach, can I get a ride?" I go, yeah, just go wait by my car. But then I'd be in there and get in a conversation with the head coach. I'd be literally in there an hour. I'd come out, he'd still be waiting at the car. And I said, if you say one word, you're walking home. And he lived about 2.5 miles from the school. He didn't live close. He wouldn't say a word. So when he went to, his dad died when he was a sophomore. So, you know, we kind of, the head coach, and we kind of watched out for him a little bit. He was a great kid. He was top of his class at Buckley. But when he went to Wesleyan, I would go up and, you know, watch his games. And then back then when you were Wesleyan, you literally lean up against the goalpost and watch the game. Or stand on it. Nobody cared.
It's still so old school looking. It's like in the middle of the quad.
Yeah.
And there's the buildings around it.
100%.
I love it.
So I think it was his senior year. And like his last game, he goes, hey, you know, we're having a little cookout, or, you know, some sandwiches and stuff with my family. Why don't you stay? And I'm like, dude, I'm a young guy. Like, I'm 30. I'm like, I'll get out of here, man. And he's going, just stay for 20 minutes. I said, okay. So I stayed. He came out, introduced me to his mom, and introduced me to his sister, Brenda. So we just kind of started talking a little bit, and then we went to a play together at the Bushnell, and that was that. So when I tell that story, I say, well, yeah, then I met Brenda, and we got married, and it worked out. And he says, worked out for you?
Yeah. Now he's stuck with
Well, I'm
you.
not going to lie. I got a great opportunity to go to 3 Super Bowls because he won 3 rings with the Patriots.
Oh, was he offensive coordinator?
No, the defensive coordinator or
Yeah.
defensive backs coach.
That's right.
I think Romeo was the defense coordinator back then, and Charlie was the offensive coordinator.
Oh, Charlie Weiss, that's right.
Yeah, so
He was defense.
yeah, so he's been a great friend. Him and his brother Kyle, who lives in Australia, they're like brothers to me. And you know what? And here's what I'll say about that, and about my wife. All these awesome things that when I was in coaching and teaching that I was able to do would never have been possible without my wife, Brenda Bellucci. I mean, she just ran that whole household with 3 girls and running all over West Hartford, bringing them to different things and making sure birthday parties were all that stuff. You know what I mean? That I'm teaching and I'm coaching and I'm scouting games and all of this stuff, and she is just doing yeoman's work. So I know what my resume reads. It reads like a pretty good resume, but half of that would be erased if it wasn't for Brenda Mangini Bellucci. I will honestly say that. And she has been the rock in that family. She is the matriarch. She runs the ship, and she does an incredible job. And she's done an incredible job for 40 years, 30 years, 30. Wait a minute, how long have I been married? 33 years. Yeah.
Cheers to Brenda. You're a good friend. That's a sticker for Brenda. Thanks for being a good friend and a good wife. I met her yesterday at the dance-off, at the dance contest. Well, it was so exciting to talk with you. Thanks for sharing all your wonderful things that you're doing. Please, listeners, go out and support PAL. It's PALvember. You can donate on Venmo or the donate button or mail a check. And also, please subscribe to Feeney Talks with Friends. This podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you could find a podcast. Thank you to Maximum Beverage for hosting us. Thank you to Direct Line Media. Who is the bigger knucklehead of the Whitney boys from Maximum Beverage? Brian?
By far.
All right, going on record.
He was the oldest.
Going on record, Brian is the biggest knucklehead. And then who's next, Connor or Matt?
Well, probably Matt, because Connor was so little. I mean, I remember picking Connor up because he was like the third of the 3, right? Oh, and then there was their sister.
Morgan,
yeah.
Yep.
Who was a little sweetheart, yeah. So, but they were just, it was a great little area, man. They just ran around like crazy people all the time. It was fun. I used to go down there because my head coach there, Graham Martin, owned the house. So I was a single dude. I would go down there all the time, stay for a couple weeks. He finally say, Harry, you got to go home. And so I would say, okay, yeah, I'm going home, Graham. And I would be walking to the front yard, and his wife and kids would go, don't leave. I said, I'll be back. That was a great experience. Narragansett, it's a great place.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Maximum Beverage, and all our sponsors, Brook Golf Law Group, Parkville Management, Sally and Bob's, Luna Pizza, Fix IV, Float 41, People's Bank, New England Door and Security. And it was a wonderful chatting with you. I'm so happy that you talked with us. Again, this is episode 155. Check out that intro music at the beginning. It's new. Let us know what you think. On 3, we'll say, be a good friend. 1, 2, 3. Be a good friend.
At the friends of Feeney.